How you doing, sir?
Good morning.
Good morning. Can you talk to me about your journey in horse racing? How did you get involved?
I've been in this business for a long, long time. I started out over here at Belmont Park 1977 as a hot walker, and then I started working as a groom for Jimmy Conway. So, and then I started training later on, like I got my license in 88, I think. Yeah, 88, and I've been training ever since.
77, that's over 45 years ago, right? What was the game like back then on the backside of a
It
racetrack?
was beautiful. Family. Everything was like family back then. It's a different game right now, but back then, the old timers, you was a younger guy come around the business, you could always go to an old timer and they teach you stuff. And, I was very enthusiastic at the time, so I always hung around with the old timers, so I learned the game, from the bottom up.
Who were some of these old timers?
Oh, I forgot some of them names, but there was an old timer named Yank. He used to work for Mr. Conway. He took me under his wing. We had a preacher. All those guys, they were good old grooms, but they know about horses. And they when you're a young guy coming in the business back then, if you hang around with the old timers, you learn a lot of stuff because they tell you stories. And if you could make sense out of nonsense from their stories, you can learn a lot. And that's where that was one of my main things.
And that's what they said. They said the old timers back then wanted to teach the young people.
Oh yeah, you as long as you show them respect and you show them that you're enthusiastic about the business, they don't come around and be cocky and talk like you're too smart.
Yeah.
They don't like when you're too smart. They'll shun you. You know what I mean?
Where were these old timers from?
All of them from the South Carolina, in the Carolinas, down south, but they're horse people.
Yeah.
They run the business for all their lives,
Yeah.
and they were good grooms, they're very, very meticulous about their work back then. So, you learn, if you hang around with them, you learn pretty good,
Wow.
And the trainer that I came up around, he was a very shrewd old-time trainer too. He was very good.
Yeah.
I learned a lot from him back then, the basics. So when you learn from those guys over the years, everything comes in handy. When you run into a little problem and you remember what you had to do back then, it helps you,
Yeah. And how important is the people, right, that work on the backside with the horses, the grooms, the hot walkers?
Forget about this. They're the backbone of the business. Trust me.
Yeah.
If you don't have good help, I don't care who you are, you're not gonna do good. You gotta have good help in this business to survive. You might be the smartest horseman in the world, but you gotta have good help. That's what makes the business go around.
Yeah.
That's what helps. That's what helps.
What was the first horse that got you going in the game?
That's funny. You should ask. I used to groom a little horse for my trainer Conway. His name was Parole. Small horse, but he had the mare was a European mare. And you wouldn't believe that a horse that small could go 1.5 miles or 1.5 miles, but that horse could run. That's my first race I ever won with a horse as a groom.
Wow.
The horse's name was Parole. I never forgot it. I never forgot him.
What's the feeling like back then, right? When your big horse win a race?
Oh yeah, you take pride in your job in those days, because you got a horse that's getting ready to run. You do everything to help that horse. It's like a love affair. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people say the horsemanship is different today than it was yesterday. You think that's true?
In some ways, yes. In some ways, I'm not gonna knock people right now. I'm not that kind of a person. Every time, every era, things change. You know what I mean? Things change with time. Hopefully for the better. So it's like a different time now with the way things operate. It's very different. But I'm not gonna say, maybe from my perspective as an older, timer, it would seem that way, because that's, but now, it's pretty much the same,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think things is more sophisticated now than back then, So back then everything was a labor of love. You gotta put your hands into it, your heart into it, get up every day, 5 o'clock at the barn, you spend all day with your horse, and each groom, like at a at competition with each other. Oh, my horse is doing good. You see the next guy winning, you want to win too. So
Yeah.
you know, you work hard. You know,
Yeah.
you work hard.
You know, in your lifetime, who you think was the best race rider?
Ah, man,
For you.
that's a tough one. I tell you what, though, like I said, coming up in my era, from my time, in my mind, this is just a personal opinion. Braulio Baiza and Lafitte Pinkai were the two best riders I ever see. And that was like just a personal thing. Now, Angel Cordero, George Velasquez, they were top of the line. You know, and you had really good riders back then.
Yeah.
I could call off a list of names.
Yeah.
Cinta Vasquez, you know, Eddie Maple, all those guys were really good riders back then. But my personal, you know, for me, it was either Braulio Baiza or Lafitte Pinkai.
Yeah.
That was just, you know, but that's just a person, you know.
Yeah, two Panamanian jockeys.
Yeah, well, they're tough. They win incredible races back then.
Yeah.
You know?
And you know Belmont Park, right? Talk about Belmont Park for you in your life. What this place means for you.
It's a big thing. It's a big thing. I tell you, back in the day, though, when you came to, before you had simulcast and you have computer betting and all that stuff, you know, the internet, you come to the racetrack over there on an average day, you got 30,000 people over there, 25, 30,000. That's every day.
That was a time, huh?
Yeah. That's every day. I mean, it's different time now, you know what I mean? But,
Yeah.
you know, it is what it is, you know. It's, you know.
You know, talk about the love, right, that the Jamaican people have with horses.
They're very, very... They're extremely enthusiastic now.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you that right now.
Yeah.
From I was a kid going to high school, you know, I used to sneak away and go to the racetrack on a Saturday. My father didn't want me to because he was very strict, you know, as far as me being my academics and stuff like that. So going to the racetrack, I had to hide, sneak away.
Yeah.
And my father had his own business, so I got a chance to go to the track. He, you know, and then someone came and told on me that they saw me at the track. And he got mad with me, but hey, you know, it was in my blood from all those times, you know.
Once horses get in your blood, that's it, huh?
Yeah. It's a different thing. It's a totally different thing. You know?
Man, yeah.
Once you get hooked, that's it.
That's it.
You know, you get so attached to horses. You know, when you're around them every day, they have certain, you know, humanistic tendencies. So you find yourself could relate to them. You know what I mean? You got some horses won't let certain grooms come near them, but you see another old timer, you walk in there, and as bad as the horse is, he could work around him. So, you know, there's a lot of things. Like I said, the game got a lot of nuances to it.
Yeah.
It's just that, you know, once you're in, you're in.
Yeah.